Welcome back, everyone. Well, we all work for a living, right? We all have careers. Imagine being involved in a career for 32 years because you were so devoted to the cause. And then imagine being a mother so devoted to your son for 40-something years, 44 years, and involved with an organization that really enabled that child to live as full a life as he or she was capable of. Well, joining me today is a frequent guest here, Ann Costigan, who is the Deputy Executive Director for the Center for Disability Services. And we're joined today by Joan Viele, whose son Brian is being honored this weekend in a Bowl-a-Thon to raise money for the center that Ann here works for. Well, welcome, both of you. Very nice to have you here.
Thanks for having us.
You know, Annie, last time you were here, we were talking about this Bowl-a-Thon.
Yes, we were.
And I wanted to come back again. It's so nice that you brought Joan along.
Yes.
So, Joan, Brian was born with birth defects.
Yes.
And as such, really needed supervised living. And the Center for Disability Services, of course, provided for that. So we got a lot to talk about. But you want to know something? I want to know what Brian was like.
Oh, Brian was the love of our life. Yeah. He was a happy-go-lucky guy. His birth defects weren't picked up until he was 1. And when you get that news, naturally, once a parent gets over the initial shock, your reaction is, where do I get help? What am I going to do?
Yeah.
And that's where the center came into our life.
I got it. And that's now, you've been involved with the center. I open with this because I know how long you've been involved with the center.
32 years, Jesse. I knew Brian well.
Yes, I bet you did.
You know,
what was he like?
He had an infectious smile. He loved music. He loved the people that worked with him. He loved his family. And he was just, I watched him grow from an infant to a child and then to a young man.
And he recently passed away, right? A couple of years ago.
October 10th, it'll be his 2nd anniversary.
I got you. This hits me kind of personally because I have a nephew in this situation. Actually, the situation is very, very similar, and he's now about 42 years old, I think. You know, we were talking before we went on air, you were talking about how infectious his smile was. You know, you think about, we have all the means and all the tools available to us to communicate, and Brian didn't.
No.
So it came down to those things that you recognized,
right,
and your family recognized, his sisters and your husband.
Yes.
But that, you know, it's a subtlety. It could be a smile. Yes. It could be a gesture. It could be a reaction to a musical note. You know, we never know how deep this situation runs and where the awareness is, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes,
so you really, the work that you do at the center, obviously, every day you're dedicated to the people that you serve.
We are. We're very proud of the people that we serve, Jesse.
Now, the center is located in Albany, by the way, but it hits real close to home here because Prospect Center, which is in Queensbury, a very vibrant community, is also part of the center, right, Ann?
Yes, it is. And at Prospect Center, we have a Langan School program. Yes. We have a residential program on Dixon Road. We have adult services and a very large case management services, and we also have our therapies, our occupational, physical, speech therapy, and our aquatics program. We have a very nice pool up at Prospect Center. Yeah,
I know. I've seen it. You know what? I want us to cycle back on something. Brian was born with these defects, but you realize that brain injury, of course, can happen at any time in your life. Very vulnerable times, of course, when your child is in school because of sports. But it could be an accident, the unfortunate case where it could be an accident. You also service adults, adults.
Yes,
they could be military veterans, right? I mean, the scope is really very, very broad, and the services are very particular. So,
you know, we service about over 300 different disabilities at the center. Some people are very multiply disabled, some people are physically disabled, some people are on the autism spectrum, and some people just need a little assistance with their jobs or in school, and they're integrated right into our community. Right,
so you definitely get the scope of what drives the center and the people involved with the center. And you, I'm telling you, you're a go-getter. You know, I get the feeling, Joan, when you want something, you get it.
Yeah, well.
And her daughters are right with her.
Yes.
I bet. The center did have a bowl-a-thon for years. Really floundered and whatever. A couple of years ago, after Brian passed, they wanted to do something to celebrate Brian's life, and you and your family got involved big time.
Yes, they did.
Last year, that was the first Bowl-a-thon. They raised $16,000. This is the 2nd anniversary, and it's coming up this Sunday, right?
Yes, it is.
September 18, at Saratoga Strike Zone.
Yes.
Great place.
Yes.
They're very generous people.
They're
there, by the way.
incredibly
Yes.
generous.
Yes, right. So tell us about the event. What's going on Sunday?
Okay, Sunday, as you say, will be at Saratoga Strike Zone. Very family-oriented location.
Yeah.
This was one of the reasons we wanted to be involved. It's not a wine tasting. It's something for the family all to come to, all ages. It's from 11 to 1. There definitely will be bowling, but we also have music. We have clowns, we have face painting, we have a large silent auction, we have 50-50, and we want everybody to come out and have fun.
Yeah, I've got it. You know, the timing is great on this. The summer's done. 11 to 1 doesn't break into the early morning if you're going to church or whatever. And of course, it doesn't break into the afternoon when a lot of kids have activities now that it's fall. So this Sunday at the Saratoga Strike Zone, which is right downtown Saratoga, 11 to 1 p.m., silent auction. You get to bowl.
Yes.
You got some real key bowlers there, right? Is
Yes.
the Sheriff's Department coming again?
Well, actually, the Albany Police Department,
Okay.
Chief Brendan Cox, and hopefully Deputy Chief Sears will be in attendance. And also many of our consumers who are friends of Brian,
Yes.
and many of our staff who
Okay.
worked with Brian. They're going to be honoring his memory also.
This is a wonderful event. It's not a big commitment. It happens at a great time on a Sunday, 11 to 1. So please show your support. The money's going to help the Center for Disability Services and Prospect Center in Queensbury. Well, Joan, it was a real pleasure to meet you. Very
Thank you
nice.
for having us.
And really, a lot of credit to you and your family. And Annie, great to see you as
Great to
always.
see you, Jesse.
And try to keep pace with you is tough, but you're welcome anytime, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, nice to see you both.
Nice to
Thank
see
you.
you.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.